Hi, I'm Stephanie McCannon. I help people all over the world live happier, healthier, and more meaningful lives. I'm going to share with you today in this little video series the 3 most powerful tools used by the happiest, healthiest, and most successful people on our planet. And talking about happiness, that's what my clients say they want more of. I'm a home and hospital teacher. My students say they want more happiness. I ask my parents what they want for their children, and they want them to be happy, grow up to be happy. Children say the same thing about their parents. They just want their parents to be happy. So we all want to be happy, happy, happy. So how do we get happy? How does that happen? That's what I want to talk to you today about. And there are some very, very powerful tools that we can start using to increase our happiness, our joy, our satisfaction in life. So let's first start with a little definition about happiness. What does happiness mean? Because it means different things to different people. So a simple definition is feeling or showing pleasure or contentment. So we have a feeling and we have a display for somebody else to see or witness that shows pleasure or contentment. I really do like the Merriam-Webster dictionary definition because it has one of my favorite buzzwords in there. So the Merriam-Webster dictionary definition says enjoying or characterized by well-being and contentment. Ooh, I love that word, well-being. That's a really great word to start using in our everyday vocabulary, well-being. So being happy is first a feeling from within, and then it's displayed for other people to see. Okay, perfect. So what is the first sign of happiness? How can you tell if somebody is feeling joy or contentment? If you said a smile on their face, you would be correct. So this is our first tool that I want to share with you today. It's actually smiling. I know it may seem a little simple, but there's a lot of research and a lot of powerful feelings that come from smiling. And Mother Teresa said that we shall never know all the good that a simple smile can do. That's really great. So does smiling really create happiness? Well, there's some very good studies that have been done as far back as Charles Darwin, the father of evolution, and all of those theories. He was one of the first ones to actually be doing studies on emotion. And why is that important? Well, emotion is important because it affects our contentment and our happiness and our health and all of these other wonderful areas of our life. Happy people are healthy people and successful people. They live longer. They get lots of better stuff. So happiness is a very important goal for everybody, and smiling can produce that emotion of happiness. Now, there's been a ton of research and case studies, and our lives can testify to the effects of smiling and happiness. Smiling equals happiness equals healthy equals long living. But why? What is it about a smile, that frown turned upside down, that is so compelling? Why is it so good? Well, smiling produces endorphins. It allows the release of serotonin in your body, and that helps us, those chemicals create good feelings. It elevates our mood. It does a lot of good things for us. And that's all produced by smiling. Smiling makes you instantly more attractive. You don't have to lose 5 pounds. You don't have to go buy a new shirt. You don't have to get a new hairdo. Just put a gorgeous smile on your face and you're instantly more attractive. It lowers blood pressure. It increases your resistance to illness. So smiling as a tool for creating happiness is very, very effective. And again, they've done a lot of research and studies on this. Now, not just every smile will do. Not all smiles are created equal. According to research done by a very famous French neurologist, G. Duchenne, we can use what's called the unemotional social smile, which a lot of us walk around doing. And that's not the smile that's going to produce the release of the endorphins and the serotonin and give you all those good feelings. The social smile is a little smirky smile. It's just the little turn up of the corners of your mouth. That's not going to cut it. You have to produce what I like to call the real deal smile. Now, Duchenne, he was able to figure out that what produces those good feelings are the muscles that are engaged around your mouth and your eyes. So your whole face musculature gets involved in the real deal smile. So if you're interested in some of the nitty-gritty, interesting things about the psychological effects of the smile, there's a couple of other PhD doctors that have done really great research, Mark G. Frank and Paul Ekman. They have some great research and literature that you can check out. But the end result of all the research is smiling is the easiest, the cheapest, it's free thing that you can do to create a better life for yourself instantly. So let's put this first tool into practice. The first thing that I want you to start doing is learning how to smile. Like I said, not all smiles are created equal, so you're going to have to get to that mirror, and I want you to produce for yourself in the mirror that real deal smile. You're going to get your mouth engaged and your eyes. And if you need to, close your eyes for a minute and think of something that you really, really like. Like for me, if I close my eyes and I think of my little firstborn son or my husband or my girls, I can't help but to smile. I love them. They make me feel good. And I can feel my mouth and my eyes involved in that smile. I love my children. I love them. And I can feel the engagement of my eyes in that smile. Now, I have just passing people on the street and things like that, just give them the little, hey, what's up smile. That is not that good producing smile. That's not the smile that, all the psychologists are talking about, the doctors, Mother Teresa, your own mother that said smile, it will make you feel better. It has to involve the musculature of your mouth and your eyes. So go into the mirror and do this for yourself so you can feel what that's like and see what that's like. And then I want you, every time you see your reflection, after you brush your teeth or if you're out shopping and you catch your reflection in a window, I want you to flash that good feeling smile. What I'm trying to get my clients to do and you to do is to have that smile on your face more throughout the day than you might be already doing. It will change your life. Just simply smiling. It will change your life. And it's one of the easiest things that you can do. I try to focus on my smiling face, which can be your resting face. You can be smiling even when you're working. I try to smile when I'm washing the dishes and when I'm doing laundry and definitely when I'm driving. Because often I find myself when I'm driving, I feel really tense. And I try to notice that, I'm feeling tense. And so I smile and I immediately relax. Smiling relaxes your body. That is one of the biggest things that I know for a fact works, is smiling relaxes your body. So try to smile at yourself in front of a mirror and try to smile as you're going throughout your day. Then the next thing I want you to do after you've gotten your smile on your face for a good bit of the day is I want you to take your smile to somebody else. And I encourage you to smile at a stranger. And I say a stranger because if you start flashing that gorgeous, attractive smile to your coworkers or your neighbor, they might get the wrong idea at first. So I suggest that you flash your beautiful smiling face at a stranger. You don't have to say anything. Just as you're checking out of the grocery store, just smile a beautiful smile. After you've bought your newspaper or gotten your cup of coffee, just give them a beautiful smile. That's it. Walk away. You don't have to say anything. But I will say, when you start smiling more in the workplace or at home, in any area of your life, number one, your mood's already going to improve, so that's beneficial. But the people around you associating with you, they might think that, you're up to something at first, but they will also start benefiting from your smiling face. They will start smiling too. It will increase the mood and level of energy everywhere you go. It will most likely, studies have proven this too, if you are married or in a partnership, it will improve your relationship with your significant other. Smiling parents produce happier children. Now, I have a family that I love dearly, but they're not a smiling family. And smiling comes pretty easily to me. I mean, I have to practice it too. When I notice that I'm resting or I'm tense and I start smiling, I get those good feelings immediately and right away. But this family of mine, they had plenty of children. They had 8 kids, as a matter of fact. I had them all over for dinner. So I have my 3 children, the other couple, and their 8 children. We're all sitting around the dinner table. And the whole family looks like this. And I happened to be sitting across from the husband, my friend's husband. And I'm smiling and we're talking and my kids are talking and we're just being who we are. And he puts down his fork and he looks around the table and he says, and I had a very young daughter at the time. She was a little, maybe 10 months old, and she was in the little high chair and she was happily doing her little thing. They had young kids too, and they weren't being that happy. They weren't being disrespectful or anything. They're just sitting there, but they didn't have a happy, smiling expression on their face. So the husband says, "Wow, your kids are really happy." And the wife didn't really take that statement very well, and I talked to her later about it, and I said, I think he was just noticing for the first time that we smile a lot. And with everybody sitting around the table, it was very evident to pick up on that. So smiling does affect so many areas of your life. It's not that trivial. It is important. And if you're not smiling that much and you want to improve areas of your life, if you don't, then don't worry about it. But if you want more happiness and you want more success, you're gonna have to learn how to do that real deal smile. And it may feel odd, fake at first, but it's a habit. Our face and the way that we carry our face and the musculature, and if we're used to frowning, that's a habit. Most of us were born smiling. Most babies smile at ease, right? Except for my friends' babies. But they were around people that weren't smiling very often. I don't think that they noticed it that much, but when they were around, really happy, smiling people, then it became evident. But anyway, so if you want to increase the happiness and success of your life, get the smile. Go with the musculature around the mouth and the eyes. You have to get both of those areas working in order to produce the type of smiling and the effects that I'm talking about. So one of the things I'd like for you to do after you've smiled in the mirror and you've smiled at a stranger is I'd like for you to tell me how that's changing your life. So if you would go to the Facebook page or Twitter or just comment below the video. I would so much appreciate it. I want to hear your stories. I want to know how this very simple tool is helping you feel successful and happier. And again, we may have already been smiling, but maybe not to this degree. So put your smile on. Let me see it. Send me a picture. That would be awesome. Send me a picture of your smiling face. Let's connect. Let me know how it's going and send me a picture. The second tool that we're going to use, and that's used by happy people, successful people, is they compliment, they contribute, and they condone. And what are the opposite of that? That most of us are walking around, most of us that aren't necessarily as successful or as happy as we'd like to be. Well, most of us are criticizing, complaining, and condemning. And we've got to get those three things out of our life. That's not going to help you achieve anything. It's going to hurt you, and it's going to hurt the person on the receiving end. So those are out. So if we're not criticizing, we're complimenting. And we can all find something that we like about another person. My daughter was in elementary school, and she came home crying. She did not want to go to school the next day, and she loved going to school. And she was sharing with me that she had a substitute teacher that was not the nicest substitute teacher. And people had nicknames for her. That wasn't nice either. And so I encouraged my daughter to not be fake. I didn't want her to lie about something, but I encouraged her to find something about this woman that she could compliment her on, to come in the next day and compliment her about something. Because we never know what's going on in the lives of another person. So criticizing them and complaining isn't going to help anything. And surely staying home from school because you don't want to interact with another person, that's not healthy either. So after she thought about it for a while, she said to me that she really did like the jacket that this woman wore. And I said, perfect. So you go in, and the first time you get to see her, you tell her how much you enjoy the jacket. And if you can be specific, but make sure it is something that you really do like. So she did that, and she came home. She said, you know what, Mom? This lady was so much nicer today. After I told her how much I liked her jacket, she wasn't mean. I'm like, see? Now, that may not work as quickly with everybody, but it's certainly a start. And criticizing and complaining wasn't going to help the situation. So find something to compliment. And don't make it a fake compliment either, because people can see right through that. It has to be heartfelt. It has to be something that you really do want to compliment somebody over. Now, it may mean that you have to take a minute and you got to think about it, but that's okay too. So you can find something to compliment, and then you can contribute. So I'm constantly trying to drill this into my 3 children, is to contribute. When we contribute, we feel better. We all want to be useful engines. We all want to be useful. So contribute where you can. If you see something that you can do, even if it's just picking up something that you didn't place somewhere, to put it away, or it doesn't matter. Find a way to contribute. It doesn't have to be big. It doesn't have to be that you have to go out and build somebody a house or join a huge volunteer organization, although those are great ways to contribute. But look for something that you can do to be helpful. And in the workplace, oh my gosh, there are a plethora of ways that you can contribute outside of your regular job description. You just got to do some thinking and figure out, how can I contribute? How can you contribute to a meeting? What thoughts or information can you provide? So find a way to contribute. So we're going to compliment, we're going to contribute, and we're going to condone. Now, some of this, people don't really understand what I mean by condoning. And I don't mean that you tell everybody that you're okay with whatever they're doing. That's not what I'm talking about. Condoning is accepting and allowing people to be who they are. That is different than tolerating, okay? To me, there's a difference between tolerating and condoning. Somebody who's condoning, they don't care. I don't care if my neighbor keeps his lights on his house all year. I don't care. I condone that. I'm not going to be bothered by it. So, it's to accept and allow a behavior to continue. It's not necessarily tied to a moral conviction, but it could be. And I'm not going to get into this, very heavily, but I do want you to think about it. Don't be so wrapped up in what's going on in the news. That is not going to aid to your happiness, and it's certainly not going to necessarily aid in your success, but it's probably detrimental to your happiness. I see so many people getting so wrapped up, and they start complaining, and they start criticizing, and they start condemning all these people that they don't even know, and it doesn't even really affect their life. So let's start, complimenting, contributing, and condoning. The third secret that I want to share with you may be the hardest. It may be the most difficult. However, if you're doing, number one, smiling, and if you start to focus more on complimenting and contributing and condoning, this third secret is not going to be so daunting. And what is the third secret? It is actually focusing on the good aspects of every situation, regardless of what you're doing or what somebody else is doing or what the circumstances are. It is focusing on the positive. I'll give you a little example. I was having a business meeting for one of my first businesses, and my son was about 1 year old. And it was at this woman's house. We were both young entrepreneurial moms, and we were going over quite a bit of business. And my son, who was just a couple of feet away from both of us, we were at her kitchen table, went over to one of those huge drinking water jugs and started playing with the tap. And before we knew it, the floor was flooded, absolutely flooded. And I remember my reaction. I was embarrassed. I was shocked. He wasn't really doing anything naughty, bad, and I couldn't punish him for it. He was curious, and he was playing with this valve, so it wasn't something that he needed to be punished for, but I was very embarrassed because I'm sure that this water cost a lot of money, and now it's all over her floor, and it was not going back in the jug. So her reaction is something that has stayed with me ever since, and I go back to that when I have different little upsets in my life. And her reaction was to say, my floors needed to be mopped anyway. And I was like, wow, that was a very happy way to look at it. She looked at the good. She found a way out. She alleviated my angst and concern about what my son just did. And we all felt better. We all laughed at it a little bit. We got a couple of towels and we all started cleaning up her kitchen floor. Easy. There was, and that is what we need to do. And that is what and she's very happy and very successful. She taught me to find something positive about it. I to remember that when I'm focusing on maybe the not so good things in my life. I go back to that. There's got to be something good coming out of it. And there usually is. And we all know it usually works out in the end. And getting mad and upset, particularly about the little things, and particularly with children or coworkers or whatever, it doesn't serve anybody. And it doesn't help us solve our problems any faster. As a matter of fact, studies have proven that when we get angry and very upset and frustrated, it locks our brain down. We can't find solutions when we're angry and frustrated. So we have to start focusing on the good. And they do that all the time. And happy, successful people don't place the blame on others. They don't focus on the negative aspects of the situation. They deliberately focus on something positive. And you can do the same thing. It's going to take some practice, but you can do it. We can all start doing it. And I'd love to hear how you put this into practice. So the next time somebody spills something or misplaces something or even breaks something, getting angry and upset and placing blame and all these things isn't going to help. You know, me getting mad or angry or the woman that I was with wasn't going to put that water back in the jug. It's not going to, it doesn't fix anything. So you might as well focus on the positive. So I'd love to hear what you come up with. So share with me, if you would, what you're doing to be more positive, how you're smiling more, and how that might be affecting how you're feeling, because it will, and you will honestly, instantly start feeling more relaxed. Share with me what happens when you start complimenting people, when you start contributing. That's going to start changing your life for the better. And also share with me a situation where you have a choice to focus on the negative or focus on the positive. And tell me how that worked for you. Okay, thank you. Until next time, it's Stephanie McCannon.